Good day and good evening, and welcome to Extreme Mount Farm with me, Chaiji, but you can just call me Kai. Tonight, more Golbez, more Blade. Because last time he didn't drop exactly the amount of mounts we wanted, even though he actually did drop a reasonable amount of mounts per time. But it took a while to actually do the fight, because turns out Golbez got hands. Now, I've been spending the past like 20 minutes or so gradually trying to invite the people that came here first. But some of the people that I tried to invite clearly were AFK, so I just sat there like, well, I can't invite the next person until I know they're here. The next person I was going to invite, given the order that I saw people show up in, is Rust, but I see Rust is queuing for something, so I wouldn't want to break that if they weren't coming. I was also trying to invite Gazel, but I don't know if Gazel actually wanted to join. Now with that said, hey Lana, hey Agony, hey Rob Gero, hey Rust, hey Seras, hey Afi, hey Naomi, hey Taldava, hey Alejandro, hey Rajin, hey Tina Lee, hey Zaf, hey Agent Monica, hey Aradil, hey Ilya, hey OCs, hey Tingle, hope you're doing well. That's correct, the only OCs. We actually did that last time as well, exactly for that reason. I don't know if it does 400k, but let's just say that you either need to kitchen sink it, or you need help from healers. And the reason why that matters is because if your team doesn't really bring it on the damage, you will see the second time that mechanic happens, and if you kitchen sinked the first one, then you're dead. Like, then you're just going to die. And there's nothing you'll be able to do about it, you'll just die. The best you can do for your team then is, you know, take the 3 hits, so that at the very least Golbez doesn't just go on a rampage killing everyone else. Guzzle, did you want to join for this? Or did you prefer to sit out? You often do prefer to sit out. That's why I'm asking. A res is fine. The thing is, we've had some like last time we went a few weeks ago, we did run into mild issues. So, we'll see. Well, that's our team then. I do believe we should want 2 healers. So the question, yeah, exactly, 1 tank and 2 healers is the preferred way to do it. Right. So a little bit of a summary of the mechanics where it matters from last time. Is that as the only OCS, as they mentioned, it's possible to solo tank it. The key thing is that the tank needs to really think about their defensive cooldowns. Because if there is going to be a second set of those tank busters, and you used everything on the first one, you're dead. And a key note is that the thing that kills you ignores invulnerabilities, so that one doesn't work. And it doesn't really help to like invuln the 3 hits, because the last hit will kill you from full if need be. So, like, think about defensive cooldown. If we have enough damage, we might, especially now, we'll just skip the second set of tank buster things. We will probably need to choose clock spots once we're inside, in case we have bagels, which is what we decided donut plus spreads mean. or in plus spreads. We'll need light parties for sandwiches, which is what we decided is circles plus stack, or out plus stacks. For the meteors, the double meteors, the game plan is that we send the supports south, which means both the flare and the pillar south is the supports. The DPS will take the north pillars and the flare. So basically you point your... If you get the flare, you point yourself away from the pillars. If you don't get the flare, you point yourself at the pillars. One of the healers will be targeted with as the center point for the knockbacks, which means they will not be able to participate in anything. They just stand in the middle. And because we only have one tank, there will be essentially the one DPS will be the honorary support that will participate in the south pillars in place of the second tank. But because that DPS could be targeted with a flare marker, which means they have to go north, we need a backup support. Like a backup honorary support. So one person has to be the main guy, and if they get targeted with flare, the backup needs to react to that and then be the extra support in place of that. It seems like Kat has offered to be the backup honorary support, and Naomi has offered to be the actual honorary support, so that resolves that. The only other thing that really matters we get right is the lingering sparks at the start. The way the mechanic, the way the fight begins is that Golbez will do meteors, or like big rocks that will hit two opposing corners of the room, which will then basically place the tank at one intercardinal in the north and everyone else at another intercardinal in the south. You stay there. Like, you just stay there, approximately in melee range, preferably. You have no reason to be further away than that. And then he will cast Lingering Sparks. When the cast finishes, then you run, and you basically just run across, so east-west, just over to the opposite side, and then it'll explode behind you. It is important you don't move sooner, because if you do, then the circle AoE that you spawned will be in some random location, and if you're further out, then you might find yourself accidentally running into everyone else's circle AoEs. That's why we stand with everyone else in melee range. You can probably flex it a bit and do whatever you want. That was fine last time. I'm just saying, there's no reason to get creative. You don't have to. But that's basically it. So we have decided our honorary supports. We have a pretty good idea what the mechanics are going to be. Once we get inside, we decide clock spots, so that we know what to do if bagels come up. One last thing before we get in. Just figuring out how many people in the party needs the mount. So if you're in the party, check chat. Yep, that looks right. We need about 5 mounts in the group we have here. It would be a shame if we went in, did a pull, mount drops, and then we realized everyone in the party already has it. That's part of the reason why I asked this early. Also, let's see. Hey, Jacob and Vivi. And Matthew. Hope you're doing well. Maybe says, how do you feel about Black Mage and Pixelmancer now? I've answered the question about Black Mage like a dozen times just Tuesday. I like it. I'm gonna main it. I'm gonna play it for Savage. Pictomans, on the other hand, feels like it's in an awkward spot. Personally, I realize that I don't feel like playing Pictomans very much now. But, like, power-wise, it's probably fine. Blade. Yeah, the reason why that matters, OCS, is that sometimes when we actually saw the second one was because a lot of people were dead, so just hoping for a res might not work if the tank is one of the only people still alive, right? C, by the way, is south. Just C is not middle, it's south. Yeah, basically, OCS, the way that I do these streams is that we just bring people from the stream, and then we try to, like, a lot of them are, like, people we know that know this, so, like, they've been here before, they're pretty good players and everything. But sometimes, like, as we get all the mounts we need, we'll just bring a new person in during the stream, and sometimes they'll completely goof the mechanics as a result. Or they might not be as strong. Like, we don't really have any major requirements. Like, the main requirement is bring a level 100 job and have all right equipment. Like, please don't shop in 690. Please have, like, maybe crafted gear, but I'm not checking, so it's probably fine. So it means that we have very low expectations. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, right? I guess so, Naomi. Clove actually managed to confuse me with the link shell chat of saying toe. But yeah, this 2 is the last one remaining. A key thing is that just key advice in general, if someone asks for people to call their clock spots, even if there's only one left, you should still say it, because you announcing what your clock spot is, even if it's obvious, means that they know you know that that's your clock spot. So there's no, well, everyone called the other one, so I don't need to say anything. You say it to indicate you know where you're going. It's just general advice. I'm glad to hear that, OZS. And welcome. Alejandro says, I wonder if Pictomans have got a change in his rotation now. Apparently, the thing that is floating around is that hammer motif is not worth it to use in full uptime. But I'm not... like, it's complicated to calculate, so there might be something people are overlooking. There's also the fact that many of the new fights have moments of downtime, and it's also, like, you could draw it as a swift cast if you have to move, and things like that. Like, it might not be all bad.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come.
Then come!
Know that none shall deny us salvation.
Maybe no. Hope you're doing well.
Be your tomb. Let lightning surge. I will free us from the wheel.
And here comes the blade. And the double blade. Hey, soldier. Hope you're doing well.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades? I will suffer.
And here comes the blades.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow! With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation! You shall know true terror! Dragon, hear me and obey.
See, it'll be sandwiches. It looks... blades are coming? I don't think we decided on light parties, come to think of it, so this is going to be interesting.
Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Right, that'll be a wipe then. It's just jump arrow.
Come forth, my servant of shadow.
Right, what happened? Someone died just before the mechanics happened. Who went north? Who went to the north meteor? The pillars. Who went to the north pillars? Show of hands. Say me in the party chat. Is it still a hard? Yes, it is. I remember we progged that particular mechanic for like 2 streams back when it was current. Ken says I would like a clock spot closer to Naomi. We didn't need our clock spots. So, what? But I could see it'd be a problem if we had bagels. Naomi is 2. So is that better? That cat is on 3. The main reason why we have 2 healers OCS is because if we have 1 healer and 1 tank, then that mechanic will be even harder to determine. In fact, I believe the light parties go on the healers as well. But you do make a good point that maybe with 1 healer we could skip all that, but the boss was at 10%. 10%. Before everyone died. So that's a lot of damage we'd need to bring by having 1 extra DPS. if Cat was on... I mean, I could be Black Mage, but someone... Like, Cat was on tank, then switched to DPS as we were starting, so I switched to Paladin. If we went with single healer, then I suppose something like maybe Ham tanking could work, but Ham is going in like once an hour has passed, so then we'd have to figure that out. Hey Lucifer, hope you're doing well.
This place shall be your tomb.
But yeah, I was going to play Black Mage, but if we need a tank, then I'll play tank. That's my problem.
Let lightning surge. I will free us from the
Blades.
wheel.
Blades. The reason why I don't even say anything for the Lingering Sparks is because due to the stream delay, when you hear me say move, it's too late. Hey Kazari, hope you're doing well.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades.
Oh, whoops. I wasn't sure.
I will suffer no
Blades?
obstacles.
Good luck, Kazari.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course.
Hey Vyak, hope you're doing well. I have not done the new Unreal or Extreme yet, no.
Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
Oh, yeah, right, Kazari. Well, good news is that I'm not going to surprise you with any of it on this stream.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels. So, we'll need clock spots in a bit. And it'll be a donut on top of that. Hey Yannick, hope you're doing well.
Crush them.
Here come the blades. The blades!
Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light. You wretch.
A forced warrior practice session. Hey Phoenix, hope you're doing well. Remember guys, it's random whether the pillars are in the left or right side. It's just that they will always be opposing intercardinals. That's the only thing you can go on. As the sensor healer, I bait the line where? Just through the middle. Like, basically just stay. You just stay. Whoops. I don't know why I felt compelled to immediately fight or flight. Oh well. I can fix it fix it a little bit later.
This place shall be your tomb. lightning surge.
Lingering Sparks, move.
I will free us from
Blades.
the wheel.
Blades. One healer, they said, will be potion positive, they said. Well, sometimes.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer no obstacles.
I will suffer no obstacles.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course.
I just remembered the joke Jacob said a little bit ago. What is it? I would invite Golbez for dinner because he would stay, no matter what, he would stay the course.
Such is your power.
No matter the foe,
My servant
I will stay the course.
with a bit so dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
The trick OCS for P4S is if you bring 7 DPS and a healer, you can clear phase 2 so fast that you only need like one mechanic. It'll be sandwiches. And that was before the before 7.2, by the way. So now it should be even better.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Yeah, if we can do it that well, then one extra DPS instead of a healer would be incredibly good. But we had 10% echo. How's the new patch content? It was fun, Rob Gero. We might want to try again to make sure that it wasn't a fluke before we do any major changes to the lineup. VXS, do you have full 740? Yes. Yet? Yes, I do. On Black Mage. 740 full crit. I was aiming for a speed build, actually. Soldier, the thing is, before the changes, black mages wanted a very specific amount of speed and then all crit for maximum damage. Right now, it turns out simulations suggest that maximum speed or close to is actually optimal, which is a first in a long time. Like a long time. Like speed has for most of Endwalker basically just been like an alternative that is like, for most content, it's like pretty much just as good, but crit had a higher potential. Now it's the other way around.
Shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge. I will free us
Blade.
from the wheel.
Becomes a fire 4 machine gun? Yeah, absolutely. And because of the changes, you can straight up just fire 4 6 times in a row if that's what you want to do.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades.
Oh, that is a good expedient.
I will suffer no obstacles.
I was also working on stuff for my guide that I will be making, I'll be releasing real soon. And it was pretty incredible how enormous of a difference it is, the way that Black Mage plays now at like level 50, 60, and then like level 80 there's some things, but at level 90 it's crazy. If you want to do maximum damage, you basically swap with every time you switch state you use transpose. That's maximum damage. Is transpose all day. Which I think is absolutely hilarious. Like you transpose to ice and you transpose to fire.
You shall know true terror.
When will Scathe be good? Well, they need to buff it quite substantially for that to ever happen.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
Let's see, sandwiches? Sandwiches. Does that make it full non-standard? Yes? I think so?
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Nice.
You wretch! Come forth, my servant of shadow!
How do you reach UI 3? So the way that it works is that because of all the changes to Black Mage, Swift Cast and Triple Cast does not give you DPS by skipping cast times on like basically all of your spells, except Blizzard 3 in Umbral Ice. And of course Fire 3 in Astral Fire, but it costs 4000 MP, you wouldn't do that. But B3 in your Umbral Ice 1 is free. So you basically finish your Astral Fire state with I don't know, Despair, then you transpose Swiftcast Blizzard 3 and then Blizzard 4. Or, as you're reaching the end of your Astral Fire state at some point, you'll use Triple Cast and then you will transpose into Ice with an instant Blizzard 3. It's like an 80 potency gain over not doing it, I think. Something along those lines, around 80. Even more hilarious is because Paradox doesn't benefit from Astral Fire, you can then, like, your initial opener will not generate any fire starters because you cast 12 Fire 4s in the opener, no Paradox to get 2 Flare Stars. You won't have a fire starter for going back. But you can just, you Despair, transpose Swiftcast Blizzard 3, Blizzard 4, Paradox, transpose Paradox to get your fire starter, and then you fire 3, and then you just spam fire 4s. In a simulation or on a striking dummy, that's maximum damage. Basically, you get your fire starter after earlier than you should have it, and every time you can do this, you're basically postponing a potential damage loss of casting a cold fire 3. And as long as you can do it, you don't have to worry about it. And if you can keep that going until your next mana font, where then you will actually have a fire starter to spare, you will basically avoid having to cast a cold fire 3 altogether. But that means you have to open every Astral Fire state with Paradox Fire 3 for the first 2 minutes of the fight, which does kind of lock up your mobility in a very specific way. So whether you can actually make that magic happen is up for debate. The thing is, or up for discussion, I suppose, or up for testing. You might say, well, you have all those triple casts, but every time you're exiting Astral Fire, if you have an instant cast of some sort, like a swift cast or triple cast, there's a damage gain from Transpose Blizzard 3. So that one is also something that you could choose to not sacrifice, essentially. You can still lock up all your mobility options for damage gain on Black Mage. Isn't that great?
This place shall be your
Isn't that hilarious? So should we look forward to another rework in 7.3? Let's just say that I do mention in the guide, in the manuscript for my guide, that you might want to keep an eye on Blade on the pinned comment in case there is one. Because if you think that's crazy, Strat and I and Naomi briefly discussed some shenanigans at level 40 for AoE. Did you know Freeze is better than Fire 2? You should also keep an eye on Blade. Kind of, Maledictio. Not quite, but kind of? And when I say kind of, it's because of the changes to Thunder, you need Thunderheads. So you will still switch to Fire. Which was what I was discussing with Strat. How to switch to Fire to get Thunderhead procs in the least painful way. But yeah, I'm just saying, non-standard, maybe the non-standard that the Black Mage mains know and love is kinda not there. But Black Mage still has a ridiculous amount of shenanigans. I'd almost say that the average Black Mage, the more not the masters, will now be capable of doing even more shenanigans, and even the masters will probably have fun with those same shenanigans. And yes, Alejandro, I'm working on a remake of my Black Mage guide exactly because of how much they've changed. It'll be bagels. It'll be bagels. Bagels. Oof.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
It is really funny. Like we have reached a point where people are more and more saying at some point they're just going to delete transpose. They're going to do something to transpose. That's the expectation, because every time, oh, mount drop. Every time any change, like the thing is, if transpose didn't exist, then there would be no way to flip a swift casted spell into a damage gain aside from like Thunder Swift Cast Fire 2 or something. And if transpose didn't exist, well, then you would at the very least need to cast Fire 2 and Blizzard 2 every so often. If it didn't exist, then AF1 F3P wouldn't exist, which is the thing we do with holding the fire starter to like start the Astral Fire state with. So either transpose stays, and that's basically the devs saying, yeah, we wanted you to do this, or at some point it gets changed. How? Who knows? But let me just put it like this. If I were to make my cursed job changes today, I would probably just have put the Black Mage one, transpose is gone. Like, that would just be what I added. Like, just transpose is gone. And the low-level Black Mage wouldn't exist? Well, the thing is, if they remove transpose, they could probably make it work at low level by just saying, oh, well, if you use Blizzard 1, it'll just switch it to Umbral Ice 1 from Astral Fire. Again, it would be not too bad. But they might just straight up just go, nah, too bad. It's just level 1 to 34 where it sucks, and I guess Umbral Soul could be something they just add that's like, if you're not in combat, you can do it. Or maybe it's like a channel, or it's like some sort of long cast that allows you to like switch from anything to Umbral Ice 3 with full Umbral Hearts and full MP, but it's a long channel, or like a long cast, so you only do it like a meditate situation. So like they could make it work, it's just that transpose is like, at this point, it's very special. Hey, Caffeine! Hope you're doing well. We've gotten 1 mount out of 3 clears, and we had a little bit of a rough start. Yeah, I know, right, Kragenmo? It's just the first 34 levels. In case that it wasn't obvious, that was meant as a joke. Oh, Gazel, the way that they could fix that is that it's like Soulso, where it doesn't have a cast time if you're not in combat.
A raging gale to rend you asunder.
The aim is to make sure that you don't use Umbral Soul in combat to skip the Umbral Ice state.
Where my Rhine-kissed blades. I will suffer no obstacles.
How many mounts do you need? In the group we have now, we still need 4 more mounts. But if we actually get those mounts, we'll just find someone else at my house that doesn't have it. We'll go until, like, you know, I usually go these streams for about 3 hours. And then I go overtime.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
But yeah, I think the indication is as long as they're keeping Transpose around and not touching it, it's an indication that while they're trying to make Black Mage easier to pick up and more mobile in a way, while also making it less mobile in a different way, they don't want you to not be able to be, like, to be crazy with it. They want you to go crazy with it. When they remove or start nerfing Transpose, that's when you know that the devs have said, okay, cut it out. It'll be bagels. Like, that's when you know that that they're actually against all of those non-standard shenanigans. In my opinion.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light. You wretch.
Even though, just saying, even though a lot of the changes that have happened to Black Mage seem to be like, they're very effective. Oh, double mount. Double mount. Very effective at, like, preventing people from doing the craziest non-standard shenanigans that they can come up with. That doesn't change the fact that, like, if that's what they wanted to stop, they could just attack Transpose. It's always Transpose. Like, it's the key problem. It is the only one causing the trouble. So that if that was what they didn't like, they'd just do something to Transpose. Consider that Transpose used to have a 10-second cooldown at one point, if I remember correctly. A long time ago. So, hey, Seraph, hope you're doing well. 15 seconds. That's possible. I specifically remember that Transpose has always been able to refresh your Enochian stuff. And there was a time where Astral Fire and Umbral Ice only had a 13-second duration, if I remember correctly. So I'm pretty sure 12 seconds would have been the absolute highest it could have ever gone. But I might remember that wrong.
Our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge. I will free us from the
Blade.
wheel.
Twelve to 8? That sounds right, yeah. And then at some point they increased Astral Fire and Umbral Ice to 15 seconds, and at some point they reduced Transpose down to 5.
Where my Rhine-kicked blades.
I had a feeling this was wrong, but I trusted the people that seemed very confident.
Will suffer no obstacle.
It is also worth pointing out that if Transpose had a 10-second cooldown, just for the sake of example, if Transpose had a 10-second cooldown, many of the shenanigans that like we can do right now would still be possible. It's just that some of them would just be like, well, you can only do it half the time. Right?
Such is your
Like I mentioned earlier that like every time you go into Umbral Ice, you could use, like, you could spend a swift cast of some sort and then just like transpose into it and then Blizzard free. But if Transpose had a 10-second cooldown, you might not want to do that because you'd have to choose between that and AF1 F3P standard, which is better. Unless, of course, you can stay in Umbral Ice for 4 GCDs, which you might. So, like, there is a possibility that both could work. It's just, things have to line up nicely, and you might need to use, like, a Xenoglossy or something. It'll be bagels. So even if they nerfed Transpose to be a 10-second cooldown, you would still be able to do like all of the shenanigans. It's just that some of them would be less frequent. You'd have to like plan it more. You have to think about it a lot more.
bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Hey Peaches, hope you're doing well.
You wretch.
Triple mount! Triple mount! That is crazy. That's 3 mounts in 5 clears. Mount! Yeah, hey, are we fit? Hope you're doing well. I like the new Black Mage. That's what I'm saying. I like it. And based on what I've been discussing earlier, I feel like while it has closed some doors, it has opened others and made a lot of shenanigans more naturally fit in the rotation. So while it has made things a lot easier, it has also made a lot of things funnier, which, I mean, the job is meant to be fun, right? I assume. So I think it's good. And as I mentioned before, I am planning to play Black Mage in Savage.
This place shall be your tomb.
So it's not just me saying, nah, it's fine, Black Mages will figure it out. I'm playing Black Mage. I'm playing it and saying, we will figure it out.
I will free us from the wheel.
Also that, soldier. The thing is, and we talked about this Tuesday as well, a lot of people have said that now that they've seen the kind of fights that came with 7.2, they can understand why they needed to give Black Mage more mobility. In 7.1, Black Mage just found a way to play the rotation at a relatively small loss, like a marginal loss, without casting anything. Which means that 7.2 is actually a mobility nerf in terms of mobility potential, rather than a buff. Isn't that weird? Which is to say, the average player will probably be like, yeah, but it's more mobility for me, and it absolutely is for me. But the masters are there like, I mean, you took away toys, as far as I'm concerned. But let's see, right? Let's see how bad it is. I think it's cool. That's my opinion on it. I think it's cool. You shall know true terror. The thing is, Awifit, the players that were the most quote-unquote overdramatic were probably more sad that the thing they like went away. And that's... Oh, it'll be sandwiches. That is true. That is a fact, that the thing they liked is going away. Straight up. Nothing wrong about that take. That's true. I made a video a while back called That Hollow Feeling, which is exactly about that. That feeling where the job is made easier and like it's made fancier and flashier and easier to play and everything, but the things you liked, all the things, the difficult parts to manage and all that, went away. Most players don't, like, especially people that didn't main the job, don't care. For them, it's just, oh, it's easier now. In fact, isn't it better for you because it's easier to play, so now you can play more effectively, more easily? Like, isn't it a win-win for everyone? Whereas the people that really liked the complexity are like, well, yes, but also, like, the exaggerated extreme you can push this idea to is, imagine your main job, whatever your main is. Imagine if they made it so that the job only has one button. It just has one button. It makes the best damage. It makes the best cooldown. Like if you're a tank, it just gives you damage reduction inherently. It heals, it does everything you need, so you just need that one button. Objectively speaking, the job is easier now and better in every way. But is that fun? No, it probably isn't. It's probably really funny. But, like, it's not very interesting. And, as I said, I know, Cat, but it's also the 4th stream where I keep getting asked about it. 3 of her on Tuesday also. Well, I mean... but yeah, that's the idea, is that that's how it feels. Is that it's basically like getting concentrated a bit more into this simple extreme. And at some point, we might hit it, unless, like, there is a stopping point. That's why it can be difficult to understand why the players playing the complicated job are mad when it's made better or easier or more powerful or faster or whatever, because the thing they liked is exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. They didn't need it to change. It was fine. It's also difficult to put into words whether it's better or not. The players that enjoyed the slowness of Black Mage might not appreciate the fastness of what it is now. They might appreciate it, but still be like, well, I liked the other thing better. Also that, Jacob, that is actually a good point. With the Black Mage changes, I could probably picture myself suggesting Black Mage to a new player. It has its weirdness, but I mean, Summoner does too, so... That is exactly right, Tingle. That's also what I referred to about 7.1. Black Mage having more mobility than what they have now. At least more potential mobility.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course.
Hard to say how we fit. I feel like people are comparing it to that, but I don't feel like it's to that. It's as extreme as the Summoner rework. I don't feel like it is.
Come forth, my servant of shadow.
Aoife. Okay, I'll try to remember that.
Dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
My guess on that, Jacob, is that maybe what they meant is they were trying to curb that extreme amount of mobility. Like, they're like, okay, like, we understand you think it's fun to mess around, but that there, it'll be bagels. Like, that there is too far. We're taking that toy away. Which I feel like is perfectly reasonable. Like, I'm just saying, Black Mages be like, oh yeah, I'm playing the difficult, complex mage where you have to plan your rotation because you don't have that much mobility, blah blah blah. Also Black Mage, no, don't take away my secret strat that allows me to have infinite mobility. Like, you know what I mean? You see the problem with that one? Like, no, I invented infinite mobility myself. Don't take that away. AK-97, hope you're doing well, and hope you're doing well as well, Cloud.
You wretch. Come forth.
And that's also true, Cloud. I do think I heard something about that. Quadruple mount drop. Wow. No, because it requires skill to use. Why is that a problem? Well, the thing is, Lixin, they would still have to, like, either assume that you know how to do it and then balance around it, or not let you do it and then balance not around it. Like, if Black Mage has infinite mobility and that gives them an edge, then they have to balance around that. So the options are take it away or let you keep it, and then you have to have damage like a DPS that has infinite mobility, right? The problem is, if you balance jobs about how difficult they are, then the jobs that are going to do the most damage are the jobs that the developers think are the hardest to play, and difficulty is somewhat subjective. And they might not think that old Black Mage was the hardest job to play. Hey Phil and Caetsu, hope you're doing well. Is 40 to 50 Black Mage or Summoner more weird now? I would say 40 to 50 Summoner isn't that weird. But that's also because I know how absolutely bonkers 40 to 49 Black Mage is. I don't think you can beat Garuda Eggy in terms of cursing the job. Okay, fair. Fair point. Are you gonna miss not tanking this tier? Well, Peaches, back in Shadowbringers, I actually mained Summoner for a raid tier a bit. I've usually mained tank for like hard content in MMOs. So wow, this, yeah, fill it in your bingo cards, everyone. But I also like playing other jobs. A lot of the time, I usually end up playing tank or healer because no one else wants to. Hey Nereo, hope you're doing well. Actually, I didn't get that far because the initial gearing process in Guild Wars 2 is a little time consuming, I experienced. But I was going to play Chronomancer in Guild Wars 2 and then I didn't. Because I just decided to play something else eventually. Hey Shackman, hope you're doing well. It's probably going to be hard if you end up having to do it synced, but if you can convince someone to help you run through it, you could probably get some glam there. If you're still level 50, the gear is actually good. For the last raid tier.
Where my rime-kissed blades.
But the coils, just to be clear, Shackman, is savage content. It's really hard. And it's not in any roulettes. So the queue is going to be insanely long. It's like, just to be clear, it's not even in the mentor roulette. So you will only get paired with other people queuing for it, which will probably be other sprouts. So the best you can do is try to maybe convince the mentor or something to help you.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation! You shall know true terror! Dragon, hear me and obey.
Sandwiches. My meteors will extinguish your light. I remember back in Shadowbringers seeing a samurai soloing Nail Vandanas. 5 mounts in a row. I think Ham said they were going for 1 hour, so this would be that, right? Yeah, the way that people soloed Nail back then was that if you planned your burst exactly perfectly, you could skip the whole intermission. Right. I assume Agent Monica does not have the mount. Is that correct? Enjoy your evening, Ham. Sure, we could do that, Cat. Is there anyone else who would who's like, well, I got the mount, I'm good. Then we can like rotate a few other players. Hey, Meaty, hope you're doing well. Jacob, the Eyeless, do you have the mount? Is it just Melo who needs the mount? Aside from Agent Monica? Is it just Melo? Phil, what does that mean? Does that mean Eagle Eye Shot is really good? Or does it mean Dervish is really good? Well, I'm assuming that Jacob has the mount. They did say earlier, I can help. Which implies that they don't need anything. Which means that we have one spot for someone who doesn't have the mount. Does Caetsu have the mount? Is Caetsu listening to the stream? High potency attack that ignores guard is pretty busted. That's also what I said. I had a little bit of a short talk with Ham about bravery versus Eagle Eye Shot on Machinist for Mega Burst. Where bravery, with the proper setup, can do slightly more damage. But Eagle Eye Shot, just like with a different setup, can also be good. It kind of depends on what you need. And there's also the part with Machinist that if you combine it with an analysis drill, you can fit 30,000 damage through guard. Of course, you know, frontline damage reductions. Oh, right! It also... Eagle Eye Shot is an attack. It can pop Wildfire. That's something we didn't consider. Also that, Ham. And I agree with that. The fact it can pop Wildfire... Can it pop Wildfire? Does that count? Right. So... maybe we do it like this? I will go over the strategy again. We'll have to pick new clock spots and everything, but I'll go over the strategy one more time. Because Caetsu hasn't done it before, and we have some new people as well. It's fine, Caetsu. I was offering. I was offering. So that also means that anyone who came into the stream in the middle will get the refresh. Also, hey Darth JF, hope you're doing well. So right at the start, the boss will summon rocks. You dodge to the intercardinal where the rocks are not coming. After that, you just stay put. You just stay where you are. Golbez will cast Lingering Sparks. You don't do any, like, you can keep attacking, but don't move until the cast finishes. The moment the cast finishes, just run across the arena. So, like, left or right. You can run in a different direction, but maybe you don't want to, because you might run it, like, by running in a weird direction, it might be unpredictable. But, you know, just run away. When the cast finishes, it queues up an AoE where you stood. So you're baiting that. After that, it'll be a bunch of mechanics. For the most part, you'll be able to, like, follow the group around. But at some point, he will do either, I will say either bagels or sandwiches. Where bagels means that he's doing a big pulse from his sword. That means that he'll do a donut AoE, and then we will have spread markers. That's what we need clock spots for. So you call your clock spot before we start pulling, and right after the donut AoE happens, you run to your marker. Unless you're C, in which case you just run south. If sandwiches are called, instead it'll be a circle AoE that you have to prepare for. The circle or donut happens like halfway through the half-room cleave from his sword. And then stack markers will appear on the healers. We haven't needed to make dedicated light parties for this, you know? Just try to help each other. Let's hope we don't get 6 people on one. Preferably get like 3 to 4 in each one. And right after that, and it's important we survive this mechanic, because right after that, double meteors happen, and that's the one thing that can wipe us. Golbez will run to the north. Then one of the healers will be the center of a circular knockback. That healer stands on C. Just straight up stand on C. Then tanks and healers, so supports, will aim themselves southward. If you have a flare marker, that's the blue triangle shape, you point yourself away from the pillar soaks in the south. If you don't have a marker, you point yourself at the pillar soaks, which there will be 2. So a healer or a tank will be sent that way, because the other healer will be taking, the other one will be taking either a flare. Well, yeah, they'll have a flare typically, or be the center of the knockback. DPS instead aim themselves north towards the pillar, or if they have the flare marker, away from it. Right after this whole thing, I believe the healer that was the center of the knockback is the one that gets targeted with a wide line AoE. So you stay on C, maybe move a little bit south, but you stay on C so that you don't aim it randomly at people, because it kills. It hurts a lot. You don't want to hit people with it. And after that, the fight should resolve. Something that is worth considering is right after the sword pulses, like the sandwich or bagel, Golbez is going to hit the tank for okay damage 3 times. And then, after the 3rd slash, the tank will pop for a ton of damage. Like, I'm just saying, Milo, if your paladin is just as well equipped as your warrior, that might be preferable. That was why I went paladin. But warrior can do it too. Just keep in mind, invuln doesn't work. You might want to kitchen sink this. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. So the reason why I'm saying this is because healers might want to give the tank a little damage reduction or a barrier if they have anything. Right. So, Caetsu, if you just take that up one again, it's important that we get it right. So, one of the healers will get like a pulsing, like they'll knock back everyone. It'll have like purple arrows. That person stands on C. The other healer will either have a flare marker or no marker. If you have no marker, you point yourself at the pillar soaks, which is like pillars in like a orangey circle. If you do have the flare marker, which is like a blue triangle, you point yourself to the other intercardinal in the south as the support. We need 2 players there, which it reminds me I forgot to mention the honorary support. So because we only have 1 tank, we need an honorary support that helps in the south. And basically that DPS player will play honorary, like they'll act like their support. And if they get the flare marker, which means they have to go north, then there has to be a backup honorary support. I seem to see that Naomi is main honorary support and Rost is backup, is that right? Okay, hope you're doing well. And a master, hope you're doing well as well. As soon as I pop in, we're talking about bagels, sandwiches, and donuts, not helping when I'm already hungry. Whoops. Welcome to a Kai stream. He talks about strategy, but it sounds like he's talking about a bakery. We'll look into it, kids. So when we've wiped to something, we've usually figured out what the problem is. Right, so call your clock spots. I would say Melo should get A. So, like, don't have some DPS or healer call A. I understood that the honorary supports appreciated being closer to each other last. See, Rost says C, that means south. Edmonker says 2. I know Melo, of course, says A. Naomi says 3. Lana says 4. And Sip says B. That means I'm on D, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we forgetting someone? Caetsu didn't call something. Well, Caetsu, you have to call something. But fair enough, you were in the cutscene. I didn't see. My bad. Nice, Kay. I can take that. Right, so just reiterating, because we called all the spots before Caetsu could see anything. When we have bagels, you go to D after the donut. It'll probably be easier when you see the things happen, and the thing is, messing it up a little bit shouldn't kill you. The important part is you don't get hit by the spread markers, like only yours. Melo, do you want to be in control of the pull timers, or do I just do it? Next step in strat names, name them after money. A question. When was big damage again? Actually, there are 2 different tank busters in this fight. Relatively early, he'll mark a tank and someone with large red spread markers. You can straight up take the hit yourself as the tank. It doesn't hurt that much. But the DPS or support, like the other player that gets it, might appreciate an intervention or something. They might survive with a little bit of help. Later, Golbez will like take a stance with his sword and pulse waves I will call sandwiches or bagels at that time. Right after, he'll go into like this like big overhead slam 3 times. The slams themselves don't hurt that much, but you might want to pop Rampart at that point. You could also pop Bulwark, because the big hit is technically a dot, so I don't think you can block it. You can also use Holy Sheltron. But right after the 3rd hit, it pops and does a ton of damage. You might want to use Guardian before the 3rd hit, so you have a barrier for it. But that's when it hits. And if we goof it up hard enough, he'll have it again shortly after the meteors. So if you kitchen sink fully, then you will die there. But we shouldn't see it if everything goes well. Right? So that's the game plan, is we don't see the second time that Tank Buster comes. That's the plan. Is that you don't need to take that one.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb.
Oh, whoops. I completely missed a flare star there in my focus. Womp womp.
I will free us from the wheel.
I was so focused on how I get full value out of my ley lines that I didn't get full value out of anything else. Whoops. You know what? It's fine. I was so confused. I'll take that L.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power.
We should probably just wipe it, yeah. What happened to Melo? Oh, 4 Vulns. Yeah, in that case you should probably use a defensive. Right. Well, we did have a little bit of a mix-up, so now we have to rewind that and figure out how the fight works again. Overall, Shaq, it's going well. 5 mounts in 8 clears. Overall, winning. Right now, we just had, we had so many mounts that we needed to find people to get mounts. Nothing can beat Updog strat. What is Updog strat? Wow, that is a lot of damage, Phil.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge! I will will free us from the wheel. A raging gale.
How much value can I get out of my ley lines before he forces me to run?
Where my Rhine-kit blades.
Oh, whoops. That's not right.
I will suffer no obstacles. No matter the foe,
Iraqi will be doing well.
stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels. Uh-oh.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light. You wretch.
What are you doing with the tank busters? The explosion is survivable. Milo just has to kitchen sink better. It's survivable. What happened, Milo? Did you have bone stacks? Was that it was a rescue. Earlier than expected. I would say, Milo, make sure that you have all of the damage reduction that you want before the third hit lands. The sword is survivable, K. It does damage. It does about... Actually, in fact, K, if you don't believe me, rewind this stream and watch me survive it on every pull. You cannot invuln it, that's correct. It does about 400k without mitigation. And then you check how much HP Milo has. Okay? I reiterate. Okay. The explosion from the third hit does damage. I don't think you're listening to me. It does damage. We did this 8 times without me dying. And we did it 2 weeks ago as well. The reason Milo is Paladin is because it has more mitigation. It's not because he should Hallowed Ground it or something. It's just that... Actually, Viek showed this off early in Dawntrail, that it's survivable. On solo, and just were like, well, I can't do the rest of the fight, and then wiped it. Like, what do you take me for, Kay? Like, listen to me for a second.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge! I will free us from the wheel.
What about the meteors? That's survivable by a DPS. They just need a little bit of help. But they can just eat that. Like again, it just does damage, and we have a lot of it, like a lot of power, so we can just eat it. Just eat it for breakfast. Specifically breakfast. Doesn't work if it's lunch.
Where my rhyme-kissed blades.
I did it again.
No obstacles.
I goofed up the exact same point. It's really annoying.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course.
Oh yeah, definitely, Kay. If you're doing the fight synced, then you can't do it with one tank, but we're doing it unsynced.
Such is your power. Come forth, my son.
I also assumed it would be a one-shot, but then Viek showed me. That's exactly the reason why I know so confident. I also looked up a guide that said the same thing, but I already knew before watching the guide because Viek had showed me that it was possible. Sandwiches. Alright, Kate, enjoy your evening.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Nice!
You wretch.
Now we just need to kill him before he kills Milo.
Forth, my servant of shadow.
It would be Bagels, but we're killing him first. Nice. Ah. A mount drop streak has ended. Hey Gustavo, hope you're doing well. And what it means, Gustavo, is that people have done some testing. They've estimated and done some like striking dummy testing, and they've done some simulations, and it turns out that the Black Mage rotation with more speed, like the gear set with basically a GCD of 2.17, does the most damage of all the potential best in slot gear sets that we have available. By comparison, I believe the full Mega Crit build, like the Giga Crit build with like Slow Mage, is like 1% behind. As in, it does 99% of the damage of the spell speed heavy build. In simulation, Which means in practice, what is easiest for you if you're playing Black Mage probably matters more, right? But that's what it means. It means that if you like to play with spell speed, Black Mage is your guy. That's the thing you should be playing if you like yourself some spell speed. I went the safe route, so I specifically aimed for gear pieces with crit on it and not spell speed, just in case it wasn't good. And then, like, after I'd gotten my gear, I found out, oh, so as we get raid gear, it'll be spell speed time. That's difficult to say, Yannick, because it's very possible that speed just wins anyway. Like, the thing is, a speed build will have to be even luckier to win on random chance, because they have less chance. But if they do more damage, like more DPS, then when they're really lucky, because they're working with like a 10% crit chance, something like that. So if, like, it's difficult to say. It's probably the case that crit mage can still win, but as it stands right now, as far as people can estimate, spell speed has the highest potential, from what I could find. And unless you're passing, it doesn't really matter, right? What mount does this fight drop? That. The one that people are mounting here. But yeah, the thing is, crit will always be the one where, like, if you just roll straight 20s, like all natural 20s, it's probably gonna win. But right now, speed is so good on Black Mage that it's actually better, at least in the simulated scenario. Which is good enough for me, because I wanted to play Speed Mage. I just wanted someone to tell me it was fine. That's what I wanted. Wouldn't it be funny if they did something to make sure speed won? Like there were speed mages doing the simulations, like, well, they tried a little harder to make sure the simulations for the speed ones were like the perfectly optimal rotation, but they didn't care nearly as much about the crit one, so it's a little behind. Because that's the thing. It's a simulation, but is it playing optimally? GP's Black Mage is a speed mage. That's true. That is true. But I was thinking about the people on the balance doing their simulations. But sure, it would be really, really funny if the real reason why speed is winning is because GP looked at the numbers and was like, can we do exactly this so that speed wins?
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge.
Too early?
I will free us from the wheel.
Yeah, that makes sense, Af. That's also what I usually did, but if I'm maining it, I want to have the most fun with my main.
sharpest blades. I will suffer no obstacles. No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyss so dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
I got a little excited for that extra fire starter and I just wasted it. Just, nah, sure, why not? Just throw it out the window, who cares, right? The black mage of the future, it'll be sandwiches, possibly. The black mage of 30 seconds from now will be very sad that you just threw it out. Boom. Well, you served your purpose, Milo. You sure took it. You took it like a paladin. What is my purpose? To take damage. Caetsu, it's after the knockback happens. You can take like a couple steps back to make sure that the line goes straight through the middle. I'm glad to hear that, Gustavo. Thank you so much. It is one of the harder jobs to just pick up, especially if you're picking it up at level 100 and have to learn it from the beginning.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge.
hold, and go.
I will free us from the wheel.
Hey Nils, hope you're doing well.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer.
My
no
favorite spell on
obstacles.
Black Mage is probably Paradox. Looks so awesome. I wish they had more stuff like that, where they like mix the elements in a way.
No matter the foe, I will
But I can see why they don't, because it would like it would lose the uniqueness if they had a bunch of them. Like the specialness of Paradox would go away as a result.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Nice. Now we just need to bring it home.
Wretch. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
Well, amount dropped, so I guess worth it. Streamer and mod sacrifice for mount. Do you think the game will go past the 100 or we cap at 100 but gaining more skills and spells? We don't know. What we do know is that they have spoken about it briefly at a fan fest or something a while before Dawntrail, that they weren't sure what they were going to do about it. Oh. I had forgotten to jot down Melos needing the mount as well. So we know that they're thinking about it, but we don't know what they're going to do about it, or if they're going to do anything about it. So I don't know. I don't know, Gustavo. Given that they like to stick to what they know, given what we've seen, with many expansions, it would not surprise me if they're just going to continue down the path that they've been doing and just go to 110.
Then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb.
That might also happen to us. That they might just go as a level squish. It's perfectly possible.
I will free us from the wheel.
Oh, that is smart, Niels. Just have the stream for lunch, so that it isn't a problem. That all my food references make you hungry. Like, perfect. That was what the plan was.
Where my rime-kissed blades.
Oh, whoops. Well, stand your ground for the next one when you goof it up.
I will suffer no obstacle.
I had a feeling it was going to be wrong when I hesitated on my rotation. Pretty much every time I've goofed up my rotation, it has been immediately followed by me goofing up a mechanic. Like some sort of bad omen.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation.
I know, right, Master? That's basically how it feels. Like, pretty consistently, every time I goof up my Black Mage rotation, I get hit by something. It's not I get hit by something and then I mess up my rotation. It's I mess something up and I'm like, oh, that's a bad omen. Boom!
Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels again.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Oops.
You wretch! Come forth, my servant of shadow!
It'll be sandwiches, but I think Melo's dead. Unless you can suddenly serve him up a Giga Shield for the explosion. Fantastic work, healers. And Milo.
Your doom.
Well, don't overlap those. Don't overlap those. It'll kill you. It will kill you if you overlap them. It might kill you if you don't, but it will kill you if you do. You might need hallowed ground for this. Congratulations, Gustavo. That is a hard one. I haven't done DRS yet. Yes, the towers will be in opposing corners, but they can be either way. Naomi says, how is the second tank buster target determined for the meteors? Because it's not enmity, it seems. I don't know! I have no idea!
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb.
Nashi personally decides. He sits at every Golbez Extreme. He listens in.
Let lightning surge. I will free us from the wheel.
There is some level of poetic justice that the only one that died from the out-of-position Lingering Sparks was the person that placed it, I think. That is the reason why we don't go early, because it's lethal to go early. Oh, whoops.
No obstacles.
I just realized that I didn't that I did that whole thing in Astral Fire 1. That's gonna cost a lot of damage. I knew I had forgotten something.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
That was the game giving me karma for making fun of someone else making a mistake. Clearly. Oh yeah? You think it's funny? Then your Astral Fire step is ruined. Have fun with that. It'll be bagels.
Will extinguish your light.
Nice.
You wretch. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
Hey, mount! Woohoo! HP personally decides he's in the office. Ding! Gets an email to decide he's at home. Ding! Gets email on his phone too. It just gets like a list of 5 names. Which DPS gets screwed over this time? And he gets the amount of vuln stacks they have. That's the reason why Naomi got targeted. Ah, the one with 4 vuln stacks. That's the one. Oh, sorry, 3 vuln stacks, Naomi.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge! I will free us from the wheel.
I will free us from the wheel.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my Rhine-kick blades. I will suffer no obstacles.
Perfect.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course.
That was amazing.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
Welcome back, Cat. We've gotten a lot of bounce. Let's just say that.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be sandwiches. Whoops. No one saw that.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light. You wretch! Come forth, my servant of shadow!
Quick, kill him first! Nope. 7 mounts and 13 clears is a ridiculously good drop rate, though. Like, insanely good.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge! I will free us from the wheel.
Coin flip odds. Yeah, that sounds about right. What job that'll top DPS now instead of Pictomancer? I don't know. It's actually possible that Pictomancer stays really high, despite everything.
Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer no obstacles. No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
Who knows, Darth JF? Who really knows? It would be a shame if the reason people start playing Black Mage is because it's at the top. It'll be bagels. I would hope people pick it up because of like the changes and they think it's fun. But of course, there will be some that just don't like the changes, as we already discussed.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish
Oh boy.
your
I almost goofed it because I messed up my rotation, as I've said. If my rotation breaks, I suddenly feel compelled to make a mistake in the mechanics.
wretch.
It's weird.
Come forth, my servant of shadow.
The thing is, Nils, I believe what people actually found is that Black Mage, like, net with everything got like a 1% like buff. That's considering that their Enochian got nerfed by like 5%. So like if they hadn't nerfed Enochian, all the stuff Black Mage got is like 5 or 6% more damage. But then they basically went and nerfed this one. So yeah, they got a mega buff, and then like they just tuned down all the potencies in a way. Oh, I did eventually notice, as you saw, Ilana. Shaq just disappeared. Ross was just suggesting if they could swap. So yeah, Shaq could probably join instead of you, Rust, if you need to go. Exactly, Darth JF. Imagine playing something for fun. Right, in that case, I will swap you out. Was Rust the honorary support? And also C, yeah. Backup support. I would offer to be the backup support, but given my scatterbrain while streaming, I don't know if that's the best choice. Shaq, do you know the fight? And do you need the mount? Yannick says patch was on Tuesday. Yes, that's correct. What hours the weekly reset happens? Like 10, I think? It's like I think? Is there any of the timers that indicated? I think it's 10. Right? Aoife says 9. Oh, in that case, it's probably 9 GMT plus 0. It's showing GMT plus 1 for me. Yeah, 9 a.m., which would mean 6 hours before the daily reset. Check, do you know the fight? Do you need the mount? And you already have the mount. Okay, so it's just Caetsu that we need to cover now. Do you mind being backup support? That was what Rust was. Rust said that their marker was C, so that means south, and Rust was the backup support. So Naomi is the main support, or main honorary support, and will call out if you need to take over. Does that work? Yep. Fantastic. One more mount. Can we make it? But yeah, that would mean... When did the servers open Tuesday? I feel like they opened at like 9:30, but it might have been 10:30. For me, and if they opened at 9:30 for me, it would have been half an hour before the weekly reset, which would matter quite significantly. But do I need to look for Naomi if I need to step in? If Naomi gets a flare marker, but Naomi has a macro set up that can call it out for you if you need it, then you just need to look at the chat. But the sign is if Naomi gets a flare marker. It's probably a good idea to have the call out anyway, Naomi. Just for insurance. Like it's easy for me to say, but like I mean, I imagine it's such a small thing, and if there is a mix-up, then we wipe. Whatever it takes. One more mount. One last mount.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge! I will free us from the wheel.
There's something funny about my dodge of Lingering Sparks at the start. There's exactly when I apply my thunder. You thunder, I thunder. Take this!
A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rhyme-kicked blades. I will suffer no obstacles. No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be sandwiches. Ow. Ow.
Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light. You wretch.
Hey Sally, hope you're doing well. Caetsu has the dopamine of executing mechanics with lots of movement without losing uptime hit you yet? All the time. Have you noticed that I changed my opener? I moved my ley lines earlier because I realized that if I don't, then it'll get in the way with the Terror Storm. All the time. That's the best part. I guess that's something that Cat and I can... Oh, that's fair, Cat. We didn't see the first pulls with Black Mage. That's something we can share in, as you can have it with Red Mage and I can have it with Black Mage. That was really weird. Something that bugs out on this particular PC sometimes is that my tail freezes. It's just stuck. It doesn't do the waggle. It just... Really weird, that. I think it only happens on this PC.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge. I will free us from the wheel. A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer.
A little too quick there. Wasted one Fire 4 that wasn't in Asphalt Fire 3. Hurts a bit on the damage, but it's not too bad.
No matter the foe,
Still annoying.
I will stay the course.
A silly mistake. From Order.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
I servant of shadow.
Dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels.
them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Fantastic.
You wretch. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
He's figured out we only need one more. So now he doesn't want to play ball anymore. Zeddy says, screwed up my sleep schedule. That happens, but you can still fix it. You can save it.
If you would oppose our crusade, then
Free yourself from the wheel.
know that none shall
The wheel of time.
salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let
Whoops.
lightning surge.
I messed up the order.
From the wheel.
Hey Jake, it has been a while. I hope you did well with the exams. That is a good question, Yannick. I don't know.
Raging gale to rend
I
you
don't know.
asunder.
I don't even know if the servers went up with in time for that to be an option.
Where my Rhine-kissed blades.
I did it again. Gah!
Suffer no obstacle.
My fire force.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
Oh, that could be. But they went up exactly on the weekly reset.
I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
Yeah, that does sound reasonable that they probably waited for the weekly reset exactly to avoid someone being that sweaty. It'll be sandwiches. Being that sweaty as your suggestion, Yannick. They know that someone would do it. So they're not even gonna give us the option, because someone would do it, and some people would complain.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Uh-oh. Recoverable.
You wretch. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
The thing you did wrong, Agent, is that you had the flare marker. You were supposed to go the other way. That's also why exactly all DPS died.
For your doom.
Alright, Nils, enjoy work. And clear's a clear. Yeah, absolutely, Jake. But yeah, that was what went wrong. Is if you get the flare marker, you have to point the other way. It's not easy to see in the chaos that it's yours. So if you're not sure, you have to wiggle yourself to see if the flare's following you. Could you imagine, Sally, if they could, if people had like the opportunity, like if they're really fast, they had like 30 minutes to clear M5S before the weekly reset. Could you imagine if anyone managed to do it, how mad that other people would be, like, on the unfairness of that? Oh, we've also seen that. I think we had that happen back in Endwalker, yeah, when we were doing this synced.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come.
Yeah, that's true, Cat. The point is still that, like, a lot of other groups might also be perfectly capable of doing that, but they didn't, like, they missed the window by a little bit. Like, it just doesn't, it leads to a little bit of a, like, it feels unfair, I would imagine.
Let lightning surge. I will free us from the wheel. A raging gale to rend you asunder. Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer no obstacles. No matter the foe, I will stay the course.
It looks like the Squeenix RNG has decided that it likes me now.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be sandwiches.
Crush them. Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light.
Uh-oh.
You wretch.
We had a little bit of chaos there. It's okay, Shaq. We go again. Alia, hope you're doing well.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge. I will free us from the wheel.
Oh, weird. I mean, that's the first time I didn't have to move at all for that, so that tripped me up and made me waste the opportunity instead for the quote-unquote optimization. Womp womp. Medablage. My non-clippage.
Gale to rend you asunder. Where my Rhine-kissed blades.
Grr.
I will suffer no obstacles.
I really like to do Astral Fire 1 Fire Force, just to open with, apparently.
I will stay the
Just to
course.
start with. The memes. For the lols, for the lomao. For the funnies.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow.
I servant of shadow.
Hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror. Dragon, Hear me and obey.
Sandwiches?
Crush them.
Double failed slide cast.
Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish your light. You wretch.
You can do this. You can do this. He's almost there.
Servant of Shadow.
No mount though. Bom 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 bom. It's funny how we got so many mounts in so little time. What was it? 7 mounts in 13 clears. And now that we only need one more, Golbez is like, nope. No more. I'm all out of mounts. How many have we gotten so far? Well, 7. And now we're up to 18 clears. How many runs do Caetsu need to buy it? This was, like, Caetsu's not done this before, so presumably over 40. Face Golbez has gone on break. It's heel Golbez's shift again. Oh boy.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge. I will free us from the wheel.
Heel Golbez. I will suffer obstacles. And you're that obstacle that I insist on suffering, I guess.
Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer no obstacles.
It took everything in me to force myself to focus up. I made a mistake in my rotation. You know what that means? It means goofing up the mechanic. Somehow. But I managed. I won't free us from the wheel.
Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation! You shall know true terror! Dragon, hear me and obey!
It'll be sandwiches.
Crush them! Bathe them in black flame! My meteors will extinguish your light! You wretch! Come forth, my servant of shadow!
Nope. To just say, Caetsu, very much appreciate the directional callouts for the Gale Spheres. It helps me so that I don't have to focus on that. Agent Monica has to go. Do we have someone that can step in for a few more goes? A cat. Which spot was Agent Monica? What was your marker? Does anyone know? Not the job, Caetsu. What the marker was Agent Monica for? It was 2. Thank you. Is it alright, cat? If he wants to free us from the wheel, he should drop more mounts. That is true. The moment that we get one more mount, we're like Audi 5000. And then he can free us from the wheel as much as he likes to. Let me know when you're back, Milo. He said, and then he wrote it, because he realized how stupid that was. It is pretty wild. It's crazy how fun it is to mess around with getting the swift casts and triple casts to Blizzard. And it's possible often enough that it seems like if you don't need them for anything else, or if you can plan around it, you basically never cast a hot Blizzard 3. Ever. You don't need to. But the problem is that when you do it like that, it again locks down some of your mobility that it has to happen at a specific time. And if you then also want Xenoglossy in raid buffs, then that mobility option is locked down. And for the first 2 minutes of the fight, you're using Fire Paradox as your enter transpose. So that mobility is happening at a specific time. So there's a lot of cases where your mobility is stuck at a specific time, so hopefully the fight matches up so that that works. Otherwise, damage loss, I guess. It's fun to plan. Stand and take it like a real black mage. Hey Weaver, hope you're doing well. At some points that would make sense, but for the most part, I mean, with the slide casting you can do, if you plan your positioning well enough, you don't need to. Skill issue or something. Zip? Is Zip ready? Oh, he also went be right back. Fantastic. Also, earlier Dark Phoenix says, I really like that they put Savage behind the time gates, no rush for the raiders after patch. Yeah, by giving everyone a week, it like, first of all, by putting a weekly lockout, it means that you're not like going to see people just like power grind the first fight until you have everything. I guess that would be an interesting way to do it once. Black Mage main for 3 days and already saying skill issue, I'm so proud. Well, I mean, it's more a case of, back in the day, it was a case of, well, I'm a Black Mage. I can't do that. Nowadays, with all the extra, like, incidental mobility, you probably can get it. And when I say skill issue, I mean it as in, you probably can do it if you know how to. Which I guess is generally what skill issue means, it's just that often people serve it kinda rudely. Did Caetsu go AFK now? We're just doing the wave of be right backs. Healers, are you there? Yeah, unless you have a ley line down, there's a reasonable probability that things that require mobility, you can do it now. Which is good, I would say. It's still appreciated to get, like, special treatment as a black mage, but it's not as big of a deal, I feel like. Naomi says, I'm fond of saying skill issue for something that's not skill related. Oh, that's always fun. Comedic masterpiece. Okay, so saying skill issue about something that has nothing to do with skill.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that
it's just like how if you get good at the game, you'll stop having bad latency. That's how it works. Like that, if you're having lag, just get good. Then you stop having lag. That's how it works, right? RNG knows if you deserve it. Santa RNG loot. He knows if you've been bad or good. On the damage, specifically.
No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth, my servant of shadow. With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation. You shall know true terror.
Splat.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels.
Crush them.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Golbez. You shouldn't have. That was very nice of him. Just perfectly, so I barely had to move.
My meteors will extinguish your light.
Oh, what? Huh? Okay. Never mind then. The damage. The power of a cat. Thank you, Jake. Enjoy your evening. No mount. Well, we accidentally spent all the luck on my damage. Exactly, Naomi. Lag is a skill issue. Just be skillful enough to afford better internet. Wow. Wow. That is pretty funny, though. A funny way to put it.
If you would oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb.
It is also pretty funny to me, precisely because for a long time, they were just, like, the only internet options I had here were just barely enough to be able to stream and everything. Obviously, I upgraded as soon as I could, but, like, that was years I lived here where it just wasn't an option. It was just, too bad. Which is why it's so funny to call it a skill issue, because it's like, yeah, some places just can't. There isn't an option. And then you can, like, extrapolate it to, well, skill issue. You should have just found a place to live with a better connection. Am I right?
Where my rime-kissed blades. I will suffer no.
Yeah, we're still working on the mount, Agent Monica. But that, like, exactly because I lived somewhere where, like, you know, better internet connection wasn't, like, it just straight up wasn't available. That's why I think it's funny to do the, wow, it's a skill issue, because there's nothing I could do. It was just, meh. There's also people who blame their brain lag on the internet. That's also true. That's also true.
With abyssal dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation! You shall know true terror!
But yeah, that is the reason why, like, calling something a skill issue just ends up being silly and funny to me. Because it's, more often than not in my experience, it's used for comedic effect.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
It'll be bagels. Oh, definitely, Eva, because in that case, you're also removing the risk of being misunderstood as being genuine when you're blaming someone's skill.
Crush them.
By which I mean, like, you remove the risk of the other person thinking you seriously mean that you're blaming their skill. Uh-oh. Well... when you see someone die just before the meteor mechanic is resolving, you're like, well, this is a body check. And then the boss dies first. Never punished. Exactly. If we had if we had this much damage from the very start of this set, I could imagine that we would have gone one healer. But I feel like at this point, there's no reason to like mix things up, because we'd have to like figure out a few things, possibly how to deal with a few things. No need to explore that, especially when Milo says he has 10 to 15 minutes more. I think we will try to get a mount before then, and if we can't, that'll be that. Hey Custard, hope you're doing well. What if your team dressed up in all pink? I think we have had that happen here and there.
Oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb. Let lightning surge! I will free us from the wheel!
Shoot for an alliance raid as a full party and everyone dressed in pink. I think we've done that. I think we've done that. But it might be a long time ago.
Gale to rend you asunder.
But that could be funny to do again.
Where my Rhine-kicked blades. I will suffer no obstacles. No matter the foe, I will stay the course. Such is your power. Come forth.
It's a real, like, that exact 2-minute burst, there's a real case of everything just coming up and ready at the same time for me. So there's a bunch of things I need to deal with.
Liberation.
All at once. I mean, that's usually how 2-minute burst works, but, you know.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
Bagels.
Crush them.
Oh, whoops.
Bathe them in black flame. My meteors will extinguish
No, they
your
won't.
light.
Hey, Mount! We did it! We did it! Just for the record, that was 7 mounts in 13 clears, 8 mounts in 22 clears. It was like our drop rate just went whoop. It just suddenly, it just went like, I don't feel like it anymore. Dude, when there's a new alliance raid, that could be fun. When a new alliance raid comes out, like we just run it. With a full 8-man. Did we? Is it possible we did that for Juno? I don't think we did. I feel like there was a bunch of people dressed in pink at least. But we didn't deliberately do it. Naomi says, I do like that we started kind of skipping dual meteors. Yeah, too. Me too. It was very nice. And yeah, that's also what I mean. If we had been that effective from the get-go, we could have almost certainly been fine with one healer. So just one healer, one tank, 60 PS, and then we would have been... Like, we would kill off Golbez before he even starts on the double meteors. Oh yeah, 8 in 22 clears is very good. If I remember correctly, I believe last time we got 4 mounts in 19 clears. I'm pretty sure that's how it played out. So it's way better, right? Just afford new crafted gear skill. Yeah, exactly. Skill issue. just have better gear. The afford part is particularly funny. Earlier today, I just checked through the caster gear set and also Black Mage. And I'm pretty sure if you went to buy a full caster set just earlier today, because it could have changed now. Earlier today, buy a full set of Black Mage, like 740 gear, would probably set you back somewhere in the ballpark of 40 to 50 million gil if you just straight bought it. Maybe 20 to 30. I might be exaggerating it a bit in my mind, but a huge amount of money. Considering that, give it a few weeks, and you should probably be able to buy a set. Like, by just jumping worlds to get the cheapest price in each world, you should be able to get a full set for under 2 million, I'm pretty sure. Dark Phoenix says getting 22 clears on Golbez is good in general. Most party finders are a catastrophe. I could imagine that. Considering, like, we got 19 clears last week. I'm pretty sure we went more overtime to get that. But we needed to, like, we needed more practice. And also now we have a little bit better gear, so I guess people die less to, like, silly stuff. And now we also managed to skip double meteors entirely. So, presumably, like before 7.2, the plan for Golbez was 2 healers, so that you had some predictability, and bringing only 1 healer was unlikely unless you had like a pumper group to actually let you skip double meteors. Now, if you have a solid, strong group, you can, like, in a few weeks when we've all gotten a bit better gear, we can almost certainly assume that your average group will be able to skip double meteors, and that will probably skyrocket the consistency of party finder groups. Like, straight up, by just being able to skip double meteors. Oh. Well. And then, when you can do that, it means you can probably also have 6 DPS. So you have a healer and a tank. And then you just go for it. Like, if you get sandwiches, then I guess you'll have to, like, figure out where the other stack marker lands and, like, just figure that out on the go. But aside from that, pretty good. Well done, everyone. Congratulations. Midi says, people on light data center can bring materials to me and I'll make 740 sets if they need. Thank you. That's very that's very kind. I've also had I had Menoli make my set, and the cost was the tome materials. That was the price. And others have also offered the same. I have to ask, because I'm not entirely sure. I have to ask, for the crafter, is the I'll craft it for you, but give me the tool materials? Is it like a case of charity? Like, you know, it costs me a bit, but I'll do it for you. Or is it like a case of, like, I believe you get some spirit bonding. Does that, like, even it out somehow? Or is it just a case of, well, I want to craft something, it's fun, so give me the mats and I'll do it? Or is it straight up charity? Oh, just to be clear, Sally, I also paid paid a tip for my set. I didn't just go, oh, thanks, and then just gave nothing in return. Although, considering the price of the caster set, I feel like maybe that I could have given more. But just saying, you can only trade 1 million gil at a time, so it would start to look a little weird. It was a genuine question. Because it seems like a very common thing that people that have, like, crafters, like, geared up and everything, are willing to do it for just the tome materials. It's very specific. Like, it's definitely by far the most expensive part. But I was more wondering, like, is it charity? Like, is it straight up charity? Or is there something that I'm overlooking that makes it worth for the crafter to do it? Because when it's such a common thing, it feels like there is something else going on. But it is perfectly possible that there's just a lot of crafters that are like, nah, I just like helping people, just like Midi said. Sally says, I think it depends on the crafter. Those who just grab a ton of extra mats are probably more willing to do it for free compared to people like me who grab mats when needed. Agent Monica says, how do you find people to craft that gear for you? Well, if you look a little further up, Midi just offered. Midi straight up just offered. So, like, Midi, are you in the Discord? Are you in the community Discord? Because, like whether you are or not is up to you, but, like, it's maybe Agent Monica would like that. Like, there you go. That's how you do it, Agent Monica. Like, you straight up just find someone and that just mentions it randomly. Like, Menody offered it to someone else, and I was like, is that only for them? And it was not. Yeah, that's true, Shackman. Like, crafting is like... You don't really become just one kind of crafter most of the time. And that's also true, Custard. Helping people is also a case of scratch your back and you scratch mine later as needed. That's absolutely true. Sometimes it's also just a case of you straight up, like, can't help them back, not directly. But it's also like, it can also just be a chain of, of goodwill and good intentions. I have a gathering set. I have a crafting set because people generously gave the sets to me. While I was like, I don't know if I'll use it. There's a reason I didn't get one myself. No, still gave me the sets. And crafted gear mainly helps me with that. Then the next day, like, I pass the buck on and I'm like, well, since I have a crafted set, all this money that I have, like, I have food because Aradil made some for me. I gave Aradil materials in some part, but, like, I have the food because someone made that for me generously. I don't need the money to buy food, so I had, like, materials to make the new, like, Extreme EX2 glowy weapons. Gave them for half their perceived value instead, because, well, I'll pass the buck on. I can't help the person that gave me, like, I might not be able to help the person that crafted something for me, but I can help someone else down the line. Like, that's also a way to do it. And then at some point it'll circle back around, and the reason why one of the crafters that were nice gets help is because, like, four steps down the chain, someone else was someone the crafter helped, and then they helped someone that helped someone that helped someone. And they felt generous and gave the crafter something. So, yeah. Do good. Based on what I've heard, Agent Monica, the tome materials necessary to make a full crafted set should be about 1,400 of these tomestones, the heliometry. You of course need to know exactly which ones you need to do that, but, like, that's the amount you'd need. So, like, if you just have, you know, about 1,400, maybe 1,500 in hand, go look for a crafter. You could just straight up try and ask on the Discord. You can just try and ask. Someone might step up and be like, I can do it. And there you go. Yes, the Ishgardian Restoration, also known as the Firmament, is Heavensward, Shackman. But yeah. A chain of good, nice people helping each other. And we got 8 mounts. So that means that next time we do Mount Farm, we would probably go and do, well, either Abyssal Fracture or Whitestone Black. Oh, that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard. Both of them are going to suck. Going to, like, even Unsynced, they're going to suck. I imagine of the two that Abyssal Fracture is still easier because it has one key mechanic that needs to be nailed. Everything else, I think you can kinda wing it. I think I also heard that some people said that it might be skippable now. But the key there is that it's a rather specific cutoff, because the way that you skip it is that Abyssal Fracture has health threshold phases, which means that if you hit, I think it's 25%, then she just skips to the final phase, even on extreme. So if you can push her fast enough, she'll skip it. Oh, thank you, matey. Again, Agent Monica, you see, Midi says, levy a little fish on, well, I don't know which status, which world, but on light. In case you were actively seeking out someone to help you with a crafted set. Levy a little fish on Twintania. But yeah, alternatively, Midi, there's also a link to this channel's Discord that I posted in the chat a little bit further up. Or it's in the description, or it's on the channel page. Like, in case you're interested, it's optional, but that way you could also find people that might be interested. Oh, you're already in the Discord. Fantastic. I'm not looking whether people join when I'm streaming, so I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if I'd seen you recently. And hey, Gomi Bako, hope you're doing well. And that's a good idea, Agent Monica, but it's just, you know, that's something you can plan with Midi. And then you can figure it out together. But yeah, in summary, we got 8 mounts. We managed to have, was it 2 or 3 clears where we skipped double meteors entirely. Which is to say, for anyone who's like thinking of farming Golbez Extreme in the future, you might be able to, like in a few weeks, you might be able to get away with like 1 tank, 1 healer, 6 DPS, and then just, you don't even need to think. You don't even need to think about double meteors. You just need to survive the mechanic prior to that, if even that. And I believe those are like the key mechanics that target the healers. Is on that mechanic. Or on those 2 mechanics. And then you just push it. Of course, it requires that the DPS are doing damage. But that'll make it a lot easier to farm Golbez. And Abyssal Fracture is similar. So if meteors are skippable there, then, and that's a different kind of meteors, then that one is easy too. So maybe that's the one we'll do next time. And there we'll need more mounts. But with that said, I think that'll be where we will round up the stream. So if you enjoyed this particular stream, it helps me a lot if you leave a like on it here on YouTube. That tells the algorithm this was an enjoyable stream and like other people to enjoy it as well. So thank you so much in advance. And if you'd like to be part of the Discord community server, there's a link that Aradil posted there in the chat. There you'll find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is coming up in the coming days. And I usually update it Sunday or Monday. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams when they come out. And if you grab the reminder roll in the role assignments room, you'll get a notification whenever I post them. As well as an extra run around 15 minutes before stream starts, so you can catch it right when we go live. And if you'd like to support the channel even more directly, you can become a member of the channel, you can gift memberships, you can use the super chat system, or if you don't like any of that, there's a Ko-Fi link in the chat that Aradil posted right there. It all helps support me in the channel directly so that I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you. So thank you so much for the support. But that'll be all from me tonight. So good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye bye!